Algebraic Expressions, Part 1. In today's lesson, students will evaluate algebraic expressions using substitution. Using what? Very good. Now, you've already learned what substitution means. So let's review. Say, substitution. Putting a number in the place of a letter. What does it mean? Putting a number in the place of a letter. Okay, and so today what we're going to be learning is the beginning of algebra, where we're going to have to go over a few vocabulary words. So, the first word we're going to go over, repeat after me, is variable. Say it, variable. Now, a variable is the letter, okay? So we're going to write letter. A letter and the most common letter that you see in algebra, does anybody know what it is? If I say solve for the unknown is, what is it? It's X. Yeah, so that's the most common letter that you're going to see. So I'm going to put this in parentheses here, X. Okay. It is a letter used to represent, let's write represent, a number, okay? So sometimes in algebra you do not know what X is, but today you will be given numbers which you have to substitute in for the letter, okay? So a variable is a letter. It's a what? It's a letter. Most commonly it is X, but it could be any letter in the alphabet, and it represents a number. It represents what? A number. Okay. So you know what substitution is already. Putting a blank in the place of a blank. So it's putting a number in the place of a, and instead of letter, what could we say? What is a letter? A letter is a variable, okay? So it's putting a number in the place of a letter, and in parentheses, I want you to put variable. Okay, because a letter and a variable, that's the same thing, all right? Okay, go ahead and get that down. Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working with expressions. We're going to be working with what? Expressions. Okay, so now an expression is going to have both numbers and letters, and it also has operations. What are the operations? What are the operations? You know what they are. They are addition. What's the opposite of addition? Subtraction. Multiplication and division. Okay? So an expression is going to contain numbers and instead of letters, what could I write? What's another word for letter? Another word for letter is variable. So it contains letters and variables. Okay. And often it does not have an equal sign. Say no equal sign. No equal sign. Okay. So we're going to write equal sign. Okay, so no equal signs. All right, so an example of an expression is X plus 5. Okay, which one's the variable or the letter? Which one's the letter? It's X, right? What's the number? 5. What's the operation? The operation means plus or add. So x plus 5. So this by itself is an expression. And it does not have any meaning unless you evaluate it. So now we're going to talk about what it means to evaluate an expression like this. Okay, so today we're going to be evaluating expressions. Now notice I didn't say solve, because when you solve for something, okay, usually that means there's an equal sign. There's what? There's an equal sign. But is there an equal sign in an expression? Is there an equal sign in an expression? No. So you use this different word, and the word is evaluate, okay? Now, evaluation means that you're actually going to use substitution. So let's write substitution. Okay. To get A. Okay. Now, instead of an answer, another word for answer is value. It's what? Value. So we're going to use substitution to get a value for the expression. Okay, go ahead and get that down. Okay, evaluate. Okay, read it with me. Using substitution to get a value for the expression. Okay, I know. You have no idea what I'm talking about, but it's really quite easy. Okay? Let's take a look at the example. It says, evaluate the expression if x equals 3. Okay, so the expression is like the example. It's x plus 5. Is there an equal sign? Yes or no? No, not down here, okay? So there is no equal sign, and that's why we have to evaluate this expression. Again, the variable is what? What's the letter? The letter is x. The number is 5. So whatever x is, we're going to add 5 to it. So what does this tell us? What is x? X equals what? It equals 3, right? Okay. Well, if x equals 3, then we can use substitution to put this number in the place of the letter, which is x. Okay, so I'm telling you that this is supposed to be 3, okay? It's supposed to be 3. So what you do is you use substitution. What is x? You write right underneath it. What is x? X equals 3, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. So you write 3 in the place of x. And then what are you doing to x? You're adding 5 to it. Okay, so now this is where you could put the equal sign, because now you're finding a value. You're finding an answer. So what is 3 plus 5? 3 plus 5 equals 8. Very good. So in this expression, x plus 5, the value that I found is what? What's the answer? The answer is 8. Very good. So I've set up an algebra table where we're going to evaluate the expressions that are at the top. Where are the expressions? They're at the top. The two expressions we're going to evaluate are x minus 9 and 2 minus x. We're going to focus on subtraction. And what's going to happen is we're going to end up with some negative numbers, okay? Because we are also, when we're doing algebra, going to always be working with integers, okay? So let's take a look at the first example. Now, along the side of the table is the number that you're going to substitute in the place of x, okay? So in this table, we're always going to substitute 2. So let's just take a look. Let's focus on x minus 9 for now, okay? Here we go. So if I put 2 in the place of x, I'm going to write a 2. Okay. So to get a value, I have to subtract 9. Okay. So now, this is 2 take away 9. Can you take 9 away from 2? Can you? No. Really, this is a positive 2 and a negative 9. Okay? So do they have different signs? Yes. So you say different signs, subtract. Keep the sign of the higher number, then you'll be exact. Okay, so now I need to subtract 2 take away 9. And if I do, put the bigger number on top, I say 9 minus 2. Okay, that's going to be what? What's 9 take away 2? 9, 8, 7. But the bigger number is 9, so the answer is negative 7. So here it's negative 7. So again, if you have 2 take away 9, just think about 9 minus 2, and because the bigger number is negative, the answer is negative, okay? So we have negative 7 here. Let's keep going down. What about when x is 5, and we're trying to take away 5 minus 9? We're going to substitute 5 in the place of x. We're going to say, okay, 5 minus 9. Okay, we're in the same situation where we're trying to take a bigger number from a smaller number, yes? Okay, so this is really a positive 5 and a negative 9. So you are adding integers here. I know this looks like subtraction, doesn't it? But if you have 5, you're trying to subtract 9, you can do that. They're different signs, so you must subtract. You say 9 take away 5. All right. What is 9 take away 5? It is 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And again, the bigger number is 9. So the answer is negative 4. All right. So subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number. Okay. Last, we're going to put 8 in the place of x. So we're going to say, well, what is 8 take away 9? Okay. 8 take away 9. Well, this is a positive 8 and a negative 9. They are different signs, so you subtract. Okay, this is 9 take away 8, and the answer is going to be what? It's going to be 1, right? Will the 1 be positive or negative? If you're taking away a bigger number, the bigger number is negative, then the answer would be negative. So this is negative 1. All right, so here we're working with negative integers. Whenever you take a bigger number from a smaller number, your answer is negative. Let's work with the next expression. It says 2 minus x. Okay, and here x is 2. Okay, again, x is 2. We're going to put 2 in the place of x. So I'm going to ask myself, okay, well, what is 2 minus... I'm going to substitute 2 in the place of x. And we know what 2 take away 2 is, right? If you have a number and you take away that number, what do you get? 2 take away 2 is 0. All right? Okay. Next one. What about 2 minus, and what about if x is 5? Now x is 5. Okay? Okay. So we have a similar situation where we have a small number, the number is 2 and it is positive. We're trying to take away a 5. So do they have different signs? That's a positive 2 and a negative 5? Yes. So if they have different signs, you're going to subtract. But take the bigger number, subtract the smaller number. What is 5 minus 2? 5 take away 2 is 5, 4, 3. And the bigger number is 5, right? The sign next to it is negative. So this is negative 3. I'm going to circle it. Okay, that's the value. Last one we're going to do is when x equals 8. All right, we have 2 minus x. I've told you that in this expression, x equals 8. So this is really saying 2 minus, let's substitute a positive 8. When you substitute a positive 8, okay, here's what's tricky. It really is negative, isn't it? Okay? So, you have 2 take away 8. This is telling you to subtract. Yes. But you do remember the song, right? Because you have different signs. Again, when you know you have different signs, a positive 2 and a negative 8, different signs, subtract. Take the 8. Let me write it in red for you, okay? Take the 8, pretend it's positive, subtract the 2. Okay. So different times subtract, 8 take away 2, right, which is 8, 7, 6. What is the sign of the bigger number? The bigger number is 8, right? And 8 is negative here. So the answer would be negative 6. All right? So go ahead and get this down.